He held 871 rejection letters in a cardboard box and cried like a child. 6 years later, the same drug saved his own father's life. If one man can turn salt into salvation, imagine what your pain is hiding. Hit subscribe, because your comeback is loading. Terry Fuller was never supposed to be famous. In 1985, he was just a quiet cardiologist from a small town in Kent, England. Married, 2 young daughters, mortgage, lab coat that still smelled like hope. He joined Pfizer's cardiovascular team because he wanted to help people live longer. That's all. He believed science could fix broken hearts, literally. Then came compound UK 92480, a tiny white pill designed to relax blood vessels and treat angina. Early tests looked promising. Terry poured his soul into it. Late nights, cold coffee, scribbled notebooks, whispering to his wife through the crack in the bedroom door. I think this one could really matter. Phase 1 trials began in 1991, and the side effects showed up. Men started reporting something unexpected: strong, prolonged erections. The research nurses giggled. The senior executives turned red. Terry's boss called him in.
Terry, this is embarrassing. The drug doesn't lower blood pressure enough. Kill it. Move on.
That was rejection number 1. Terry went home, kissed his sleeping daughters, and stared at the ceiling until sunrise. He couldn't let it die. Something inside whispered, "This molecule is trying to tell us something." So he fought. He rewrote protocols, begged for 6 more months, promised the board he would personally fund any extra lab time. They gave him crumbs, and every quarter, another trial, another report, another no. Some polite, some brutal. Commercially non-viable, safety profile unacceptable. Focus on real cardiovascular drugs, Dr. Fuller. By 1994, the cardboard box appeared. He started keeping every rejection letter, not for revenge, but for proof. Proof that he wasn't crazy for believing. Rejection 612. His marriage cracked under the weight of 4 a.m. lab sessions. His wife moved out for 3 months. Terry sat alone in an empty house, holding a letter that read, "We regret to inform you, Project UK 92480 is terminated effective immediately."
Rock bottom smelled like cold pizza and broken dreams. He almost burned the box that night. Almost. But at 3:17 a.m., half drunk on cheap whiskey, he opened one last data folder on his computer. Buried in the side effect reports were pages of patient quotes. For the first time in 10 years, I felt like a man again. I held my wife without shame. My depression lifted. I don't know why. Terry cried harder than the night his wife left. Not from pain this time, from clarity. Tiny grit spark. The next morning, he made the smallest decision of his life. He walked back into the lab, took the failed compound off the termination shelf, and wrote one quiet email to a urologist friend in Wales. "Would you secretly test this on 10 impotent men? Off the record, I'll pay for it myself." 10 men. One tiny unauthorized trial. That was it. That was the spark. The results came back in 6 weeks. 9 out of 10 men regained function. Some wept in the clinic. The urologist called Terry shaking. "Mate, you've just cured something the world said was incurable." But Pfizer still didn't want it. They thought erectile dysfunction was a vanity condition, not serious medicine. Terry had to fight again. Quietly, relentlessly. He worked nights rewriting the entire proposal, turning a failed heart drug into the world's first oral ED treatment. He presented alone, no slides, just passion and data, to a room of skeptical executives in 1997. Rejection 870.
Then, on a rainy Tuesday in March 1998, after 871 official no's spread across 6 agonizing years, a single yes. March 27th, 1998, the FDA approved Viagra. The world exploded. Men who hadn't smiled in decades lined up at pharmacies. Marriages healed overnight. Suicide rates in older men dropped measurably in the first year. And Terry? He stood in the back of the press conference, anonymous, tears rolling down his cheeks as the CEO took credit. 2 years later, his own father suffered severe heart failure. The doctors said weeks, maybe days. Terry flew home, sat by the hospital bed, and quietly slipped a blue pill into his dad's hand. His father looked up, confused, then understood. 3 hours later, he squeezed Terry's hand and whispered, "Thank you for never giving up on the failure." That was the goosebump moment. The man who carried 871 knives in his back saved the one heart that mattered most, with the drug the world once laughed at. Here's what Terry taught us without ever meaning to. Then, on a rainy Tuesday in March 1998, after 871 official no's spread across 6 agonizing years, a single yes. March 27th, 1998, the FDA approved Viagra. The world exploded. Men who hadn't smiled in decades lined up at pharmacies. Marriages healed overnight. Suicide rates in older men dropped measurably in the first year. And Terry? He stood in the back of the press conference, anonymous, tears rolling down his cheeks as the CEO took credit. 2 years later, his own father suffered severe heart failure. The doctors said weeks, maybe days. Terry flew home, sat by the hospital bed, and quietly slipped a blue pill into his dad's hand. His father looked up, confused, then understood. 3 hours later, he squeezed Terry's hand and whispered, "Thank you for never giving up on the failure." That was the goosebump moment. The man who carried 871 knives in his back saved the one heart that mattered most, with the drug the world once laughed at. Here's what Terry taught us without ever meaning to. Failure is just data wearing a scary mask. The world measures speed. God measures depth. Keep going deep when everyone else goes home. Your greatest rejection is often the doorway in disguise. Walk through it carrying the broken pieces. They become the key. And my favorite, the one he told me over coffee years later. Never confuse the volume of the no's with the value of your yes. So I'll leave you with one piercing question tonight. What have you already labeled a failure that might actually be medicine for someone you love? If this hit your soul, subscribe and ring the bell. Your next comeback video drops tomorrow. 1 second at a time. That's all it ever takes.